Hello and welcome back to Look Movie Recaps. Today we are going to recap a 2012 movie by Nicolas Cage named Stolen. Keep up for the spoilers ahead. We start with a drunkard on the streets of New Orleans, but he gets taken away by a tactical unit of the FBI who are now waiting for some robbers that they have been waiting to arrest in action, thinking they want to rob a diamond shop. On the other hand, the gang led by Will Montgomery, with his partners named Vincent and Riley Jeffers, are waiting for their hacker named Hoyt to compromise the security cameras. Will receives a call from his wife and talks to his daughter, who he loves a lot, as they complain that Hoyt has taken long to finish his duty. But Hoyt confirms it's done as the FBI is listening to everything. The team heads to a toy shop and Will unlocks it to move inside with Vincent and start their preparations. Riley is in a getaway car with Hoyt as the FBI is now heading out. FBI agent Tim Harlan seems confused because it seems like an easy robbery. Yet Will and his team don't do easy tasks. Will and Vincent reach inside to start drilling the vault and opening it as the FBI is moving in to arrest them in the act. Will unlocks the vault, but when the FBI enters the diamond shop, they find no one there with the diamond still in place. Will and Vincent are now inside the vault where they find gold and money. The police are now at the toy shop as Will takes the $10 million for them to leave. The FBI has now realized that they were robbing the bank as Will and Vincent are running out as well. The FBI moves to the front door of the bank, though they are a little bit late on moving out. Vincent hits a janitor and wants to kill him, which brings tension between him and Will, hence Vincent shooting himself in the leg accidentally. Will takes him to the getaway van. Will moves back to get the money, but instead, Hoyt drives off, leaving Will behind. The police find him red-handed, but he fights them and steals their car to run away. The police have got a report about the incident and now they are chasing him through a parking lot with Agent Tim trying as hard as he can to get him. Will nearly knocks a lady in a car but stops instantly to run on another side. They try to put him at a dead end, but he manages to jump over and move out to continue, but instead runs into a dead end. The police now have him as he has nowhere to run, and he decides to burn the money and give himself up, knowing they won't arrest him for so long without proof of his crime. 8 years later, Will moves out of prison after serving his sentence. When the bus reaches, he buys a doll for his daughter as FBI agent Tim has come to pick him up, thinking that he still has the money he stole. Will tells him that his wife divorced him 4 years ago. Tim informs him that his partner Vincent is dead as of now. He tells Will that Vincent joined a gang that led to his death. Will reaches his old apartment where he finds his daughter named Allison. She hands him a package left for him and asks if they could talk, hence moving to a cafe where he tries to explain to her but runs out of words. He gets a paper where he reads, telling her that he never chose to be a criminal, but it was the circumstances and need, as well as untrustworthy friends. He tells her that he has now changed and wants to focus on her, but she only moves out mindlessly as she says she is heading for her shrink sessions. She calls a cab, leaving him with a doll, saying she's no longer 7 years old, and leaves with the cab. We move to a bar where Riley is now working, and she gets excited. She gets him a drink as they sit down to talk, with her telling him about Vincent's death. Shortly, Will receives a call from the package he got from Allison, and it's Vincent, who he presumed dead. Vincent says that he has spent 8 years waiting for his share of the $10 million, as he even changed his identity and name. He blames Will for the incident that happened the other night, but when Will says he burnt the money, Vincent tells him that he has abducted Allison and he wants his money by all means. Now, Will has 12 hours to rescue his daughter from Vincent, who is now a psychopath, as he promised to kill her if Will fails to get him the money. The FBI are still tracking Will, as Vincent drives the cab to a warehouse and moves out to drug Allison. Will receives Vincent's call again, and he informs Vincent that the money is with his lawyer in Tuscaloosa and he needs 24 hours to get it. Vincent gives him only 12 hours, as he says he will track him because he needs the money. Vincent soundproofs the cab trunk as Will runs to buy a new phone and later moves to the train station for Tuscaloosa. On the train, he leaves the phone Vincent sent. Allison is now in the cab trunk with Vincent driving around as Will moves to meet Agent Tim to inform him about the situation, but Tim believes Vincent is dead. Will affirms that he burnt the money and needs help, but Tim says that Will is planning his other issues as he shows him Vincent's file on his death before asking Agent Fletcher to take him outside. Will is being escorted out, but on reaching the elevator, he hits both agents to get one access card to move up. Still inside the police premises, he accesses one computer where he checks out Vincent's file and later on Hoyt. The hit agents have now alerted another agent, but Will is now out of the building. Vincent thinks Will has moved to Tuscaloosa after tracking the phone. Allison is finding ways out, but one guy suddenly boards the cab forcefully. Allison is now tearing the sponge seat to reach the guy in the cab, who is now talking to Vincent, who seems not interested. Allison tries hard to reach him but fails as Vincent gets angry, hits the guy, and drags him out of the cab, leaving him injured on the street. Allison sees a phone vibrating and tries to reach it, as the police have now discovered that Will was browsing Hoyt's address on their computers and head out to move to the same location. Hoyt is now back at his place, but he finds Will inside, who questions him about Vincent. He lies at first that he is dead but later admits that he is alive. He asks the whereabouts of his daughter, and Hoyt reveals that Vincent is driving her in the car trunk. He reveals that after Will got arrested, Vincent got mentally ill and blames Will for everything that happened. Meanwhile, the FBI has arrived at Hoyt's place as a fight breaks out between Will and Hoyt. The FBI is moving up as Will is still struggling with Hoyt, who tries to shoot him dead, but when he opens the door, the FBI shoot him dead. As Will moves out to escape, he jumps on another roof as the FBI chases him while shooting. He jumps down onto some old woods and escapes back to the street, where he falls into a cab and recalls the same cab that his daughter took. He takes the cab as Allison is trying to text 911, but the car stops, killing her plan. One traffic officer tells Vincent to stop because the backlights of his cab are not working. He moves to him to ask for his license and registration as Allison is inside shouting for help. As the officer is leaving, he hears her and tells Vincent to open the trunk, but instead, Vincent shoots him dead. On turning, Allison has escaped from the trunk, and Vincent chases her to drug her again after she runs into a dead end. He puts her back in the cab trunk. Will makes the cab driver he hijacked call the dispatch as he wants to attract the signal of Vincent's cab. After asking his details by describing his one-legged character, Will gets all he needs and drags the other guy out to drive as fast as he can because now he has a few hours to save his daughter. He reaches the location where he expects the cab described as belonging to Vincent is and moves through the crowd. On reaching the cab, it's only Frank as Vincent left his GPRS in its trunk. Shortly, the FBI arrive again to arrest Will and charge him for violating his parole as well as accessing the FBI illegally. He breaks his thumb and hits the agents, causing an accident but instead moves out safely to talk to Vincent on a call. Vincent now knows that Will was at Hoyt's place and fooled him about going to Tuscaloosa. He tells him that Allison is going to be dead, which prompts Will to tell him that he is going to get the money by moving back to his old ways of robbery. The agents are still looking for him as he keeps running through the Mardi Gras crowd to call Riley for a meeting in their old usual place. He meets Riley and tells him that Vincent is still alive and has kidnapped Allison. He informs him that there was gold in the vault during the last robbery and he wants her to help him. They rob the gold. Agent Tim reaches the cab dispatch and sees Vincent to confirm he is still alive. Will is with Riley preparing for the robbery. They start to set everything ready and move down the tunnels. Will measures the distance and starts to cut through at the bottom. Agent Tim is also now suspecting where Will is going to get the money. Will starts to melt the gold as it falls into the water to cool down. He is only 5 minutes before the alarm activates. When Tim learns about the activated alarm, he runs to the bank instantly. Riley is packing the gold as Tim and his team are opening the vault. By the time they move inside, Will and Riley are already out with the stolen gold, which they load onto a truck to move out. Some officers report suspects, and Tim is waiting to catch them red-handed, but instead, they get tricked to find Riley along with a doll as Will drives another way to meet Vincent. Vincent pulls Allison out and calls Will, who confirms to him that he has the gold and talks to Allison as proof of life. The FBI are also still tracking Vincent's moves and figure out which places he might have visited most for a fairground for his rendezvous. Will meets Vincent at night, and asks for Allison before moving to his truck to bring the gold for Vincent, who now seems like he is not yet contented as he wants revenge for what happened 8 years ago and plans to burn Allison. Will jumps to fight and stop him from lighting the car, though Vincent shoots him and manages to set it ablaze. As the fight between them continues, Vincent gets caught by the fire. Will sits in the cab and knocks him down, taking the cab into the water to cool it down and save Allison. Struggling to open the trunk, Vincent comes up again to choke him, but he fights him off and saves Allison. Though Vincent comes up again, he finishes him off. Allison is now with an injured Will as a chopper comes. The agents pick him up and confirm he will not be arrested since he had told them that Vincent was alive and it's true his daughter had been abducted. Later on, Riley is with Allison and they drive to meet, although the FBI is still watching him. He knows this, so he pretends to hold gold and talks with Riley before pretending to throw it in the water, but instead throws a pineapple stone, leaving the gold on the table. Thanks for watching. Until next time, have a nice day.